Hello guys. So today we are going to be ranking all 151 Kantonian mons, whatever you want to call it. And we have S being the best, F being the worst, quite obviously. So, yeah, let's just immediately get into it. Now, Bulbasaur being my second favorite Kanto starter, I think that we're gonna put him at A tier. Bulbasaur's just a good mom. Ivysaur is a B tier in my opinion because a big downgrade. I really don't like the blue body, and Venusaur's definitely an A tier because I love Venusaur's Mega. And it's also very derpy, and I need a derpy aspect of a powerful Pokemon for it to be like top S tier things, except for Charizard. Now, I'm putting the entire Charmander line, except for Charmeleon, at S tier because they're the Iconics. They're the second mascot of the series. And they're just the best Kantonian starter, which I think most of y'all will agree. But I'm actually going to put Charmeleon at A tier because I just think he's a little bit downgrade from Charmander. Like, if my Charmander was level 1 through 34, I would just give him an Everstone. But once he's level 35, I'll take it off and then evolve it, and then they're actually level 34 so that it'll evolve. And then like, you get what I mean. Okay, anyway. I'm getting off topic here. So, Squirtle, I mean, I would put it at A tier. It's an A tier mon. It's my friend's favorite Pokemon. World Turtle is again a big downgrade for me. I really don't like War Turtle. However, Blastoise is a B tier. B for Blastoise. Caterpie. We don't need to say anything about Caterpie. No. That's better. Okay, Butterfree is S tier. I mean, I just think it's a good mon overall. It has the Poison Grass typing, which I love. Same as Venusaur here. And Bulbasaur. The entire Bulbasaur line, actually. But yeah. Next we have Weedle, which is just a downgrade. F for Weedle. Kakuna, it doesn't make Weedle better. It just doesn't. I'm putting Kakuna at C tier because it's not Weedle. And I'm putting Beetrill at B tier because it has a Mega Form, and like, that's a cool aspect of it. But next up is a Pidgey, and it's like the number 1 regional bird of Kanto. And I just think it's when you think of a Kanto bird, it's going to be the Pidgeotto. But next up is Pidgeotto, which I'm putting in B tier. Just because it's a much needed upgrade from Pidgey, and it's just a really good mon overall. Although I did notice that they didn't, in the anime, Pidgeotto has, I think, 1 yellow stripe on its head, and now they just removed that, and they just made Pidgeot with the yellow stripe and the purely red tail. But Pidgeot's going in A tier, mostly because of its in real life use. Definitely below Bulbasaur, definitely Squirtle. Okay, and yeah. No, you're here. Okay, but I mean, it's massive. It's bigger than you would think. Let me. So this is Ash and Pidgeot side by side. Yeah, bigger than you thought. Most likely. So, yeah. Anyway, back to ranking. Next up is Rattata, which I'm going to put at a solid. It's a solid B tier because I like cheese too. Raticate's definitely a D tier. I don't have anything else to say. And this entire line is F tier. This is the most budget ho-oh in the existence of ho-ohs ever, okay? It's just a horrible mon in my opinion. But, there has to be horrible mons. There can't just be good mons because then there would be no balance to Pokemon. And there also wouldn't be Pikachu. Because I'm putting Pikachu in D tier. Severely overrated. And I'm putting Raichu in A tier. Above Charmeleon. Top of A tier. Sorry, I skipped to the Pikachu line. Only Ekans line. Derpy, so you're in B tier. Downgraded derpiness, but honestly a really cool mon in my opinion, based off the King Cobra. And I'm just realizing this right now, but it looks like it's stretched out neck. It kind of looks like a face with the mustache and the red eyes. But anyway, let's go back to Sandshrew, which I'm putting in A tier. It's just a really good mon, and I'm putting Sandslash in B tier because it's just way better. Way worse than Sandshrew. I mean, Sandshrew's a cute little shrew, and then it just evolves to a porcupine. Anyway, Nidoran female, which I'm putting in B tier. It's the basics. I'm putting in C tier actually. It's the basic mon, and yeah. Next we have Nidoran female, which I'm also putting in C tier, but above Nidoran, and I'm putting Nidoqueen in the very bottom of B tier. Now Nidoran male, I like the color better. Okay, guys, I am not doing it because of gender preferences. I'm doing it because anyway, this is a bottom of C tier, almost in D tier, and Nidoking is right at B tier or D tier, like top of D tier. Next is is it Cleffa or Clefairy? No, it's Clefairy. Okay. Clefairy is a very solid Pokemon. I think that it deserves better because of its fairy typing. It's a fairy. Okay, good. I was confirming it wasn't normal type. It's a fairy type. Anyway, anything with fairy type is good now because it just fully resists dragon types. But yeah, I'll put it in that tier. Anyway, Clefable. I actually really like Clefable because it's the shadow of Gengar, and Gengar is it's an S tier Pokemon. An S tier Pokemon. So we're gonna put Clefable at below the very bottom of A tier. Vulpix is at C tier. I mean, it's just a bad mon. And Ninetales is at S tier for one reason and one reason only. Naruto is an amazing anime, and the only problem is filler. And some filler you can skip. I'm gonna allow people to skip filler other than the G8 arc in One Piece. But yeah, Naruto's the reason why people hate on it is because of the filler, and even the filler, it's good filler. So we're putting it as tier. But next is Jigglypuff, where I'm putting it at B tier. It's just a very solid Pokemon, especially with the fairy typing. And Wigglytuff is at A tier, with the fairy typing again, and bottom of A tier, above Clefable. Next up is Zubat, which is honestly... Wait, hold on. Where's Noibat? Where's Noibat? Noibat is not Gen 1. Got it. So it's the best bat. Probably because it's the only bat. It's the best bat of Gen 1 because it's the only bat of Gen 1. But I'm putting it at it's a solid B tier. And Golbat's a slight downgrade. Actually, it's funny here, so I'm putting it at top of A tier. Nope, I should really move some of these Pokemon up to S tier. I'm moving some of these Pokemon up. Okay, this is a better A tier. But hold on one sec. I hope there was no personal information on that. I'll definitely watch the video before I post it. But anyway, back to ranking. Oddish. It's a very D tier kind of Pokemon. It's just not a good Pokemon. But Gloom is F. Oh my bad. I got the thumbnail. That's why I anyway. But and then this, I really love it. Like, whatever this is, I forgot. It's Viplume, right? Or it's an A tier Pokemon. Just because it's an A tier, and I'm putting this at S tier. But I'm putting Paris at X tier, but I'm putting Parasect at C tier. Okay. Next is Vignonet, which I just love how they say Vignonet. So I'm putting it at A tier just because of that. And Venomoth, I really think Venonat should just have only its evolution and nothing else. So yeah, let's Diglett. It's like the number one most known Pokemon. It's like no, hold on. Okay, so these are the Pokemon of the year. And at that many votes, Umbreon. Okay, next. Very obviously Charizard. At number 4. And Mimikyu at number 3. Lucario at number 2. And at number 1, Satoshi Gekuga. But, number 10. Number 9. Gardevoir. Okay. And number 9 is Gardevoir. Eight Rayquaza, 7 Garchomp, 6 Sylveon, 5 Umbreon, 4 Charizard, okay. So that was okay, but anyway, Dugtrio is definitely at B tier. I mean, it's just a good Pokemon. You can't hate on Dugtrio. Next is Meowth, which I'm putting at D tier, and I'm putting Persian at C tier. Psyduck is in Psyduck tier. I bet you didn't notice I put a Psyduck tier in this. Golduck is and Golduck is in Golduck tier, which I just recently added. Mankey is at B tier, and same with Primeape. Growlithe is at S tier, and same with Arcanine, because they're just amazing Pokemon. Now, this is a great learning opportunity as we see the evolution of frogs in real life at in just one little peak. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely awesome. Abra is at A tier. Kadabra is at S tier, and Alakazam is at B tier. Okay, this line is awesome, so I'm putting every single Pokemon of this evolution in A tier. Bellsprout F F F F F A F F A B This is magnificence at its peak. Okay, we're putting it at the very top of S tier. Okay, I love this Pokemon. I love this Pokemon line. I love Farfetch'd as well because, I mean, the Galarian form of Farfetch'd is just so far-fetched that it's just a good Pokemon, okay? I'm not going to make a joke out of it because I don't have a joke now. But Doduo, really a C tier Pokemon. Okay, and a D tier Pokemon for Dodrio. Now we have Seal, which is honestly, like, where do I put Seal? Where did I put Seal? Because wherever I did. Is it down here? Nope, it's not. It's not down there. Where did I put the Seal? Whatever, let's just ignore Seal and put Dugong at S tier. Next up is Grimer, right? This is Grimer, which I'm going to put at... Now we have... Don't spell this backwards. Anyway, next up, we have Cloyster, which is at S tier, because it's Cloyster. Or Shelter, and now Cloyster is at B tier. But on the other hand, Ghastly is at C tier, Haunter is at A tier, and Gengar is right at the top, well, top-ish at S tier. Onix is a C tier Pokemon, and Seal, I was going to put it in the A tier, so awesome. Drowsy. We'll do him first. Drowsy is at A tier because Drowsy's awesome. Everybody likes Drowsy, and no one likes Krabby, but everybody likes Kingler, which I respect, and I'm putting Kingler at S tier. But Voltorb is a very C tier Pokemon, and Electrode is a very A tier Pokemon. Execute is it's just not a good Pokemon. It's at C tier. And next is Executor, which I'm indeedly putting at A tier. The grass psychic type is just amazing in my opinion. And I don't know. I mean, and I also, okay, I do like the Alolan form of it because it doesn't it's not super effective to fire anymore. because dragon resists fire. But I just think the Executor is better than Alone Executor. But not the same thing, but this Cubone is a solid S tier Pokemon. But I really wish this was always in Alolan form, because Alolan form, we can all agree that it's just way better than the regular Kanto form. Next is Hitmonlee, which I actually like better than Hitmonchan, and I'm putting this guy's amazing kicks in B tier. Next is Hitmonchan, which I'm putting in C tier. I mean, you think of this Pokemon, and then you think of C tier. Lickitung. A very okay Pokemon. One sec. Okay, next up we have Coughing. I would say Coughing is a solid A tier Pokemon. It's just a good Pokemon overall. Next up is Weezing, I'm gonna put that in A tier as well. Both of them are just really good overall. But next is Rhyhorn, I think. So that's B tier. And honestly, A tier. Chansey's a solid B tier because I can get XP fast without having to worry about anything like, oh, I don't have enough XP candies. I'll just travel to the Indigo Disc DLC, go to the Savannah biome, bam, XP, free XP. But next up is a Tangela, which I don't like Tangela's design. I just don't like Tangela, so I'm putting it in B tier. C tier. Actually, Kangaskhan is an S tier Pokemon. I mean, you can't. Hold on. Why did I put Beedrill in S tier? What am I doing? Anyway, Kangaskhan is in S tier. It's just an awesome, very awesome Pokemon. I don't have flaws with this Pokemon, and I don't. It's just a very good overall Pokemon. Yeah. Next up is Horsey, which I'm putting in B tier. It's not the worst, not the best either. And same with Seadra. I'm putting it above Horsey in B tier. Actually, I'm putting it in C tier. Actually. Seaking. Wait, no. Goldeen. C tier. Seaking. Bottom of B tier. Staryu is, it's honestly a solid B tier, and same with Starmie, but Starmie's at the top of B tier. Let me just move up Alakazam and Rattata, though, because they deserve better. But anyway, Mr. Mime, which is definitely one of my favorite Pokemon, because, I mean, in Journeys, we just see how overpowered Mr. Mime is, and I'm putting it in A tier. It's a very good overall Pokemon, and I could see the exact same as Scyther. But next up is Jinx, which is a C tier Pokemon. Not the best. But I'm gonna put Electabuzz in D tier. I mean, it's just not a good Pokemon. And same with Magmar. I would argue it's overrated. But next up is Pinsir, and I just love Mega Pinsir's design, so I'm putting it in B tier. Next up is Tauros, and I think we can all agree that Tauros is an S tier Pokemon. There's nothing to complain about, and my dad grew up in Texas, so yeah. Next up is Magikarp, which I don't know how you wouldn't put it in the top of S tier. It's just a good boy. But now Gyarados is a solid A tier Pokemon. I mean, I really like it better when it was dark blue instead of lighter blue, but that's okay. It's still an A tier Pokemon and very solid overall. But Lapras is an S tier because it's an OG homie, and I just think it would be super cool to go fishing for Squirtle or etc. on a Blastoise, like I was looking at Blastoise. Lapras. I mean, it's just a really good overall Pokemon. But next up is Ditto, one of the most controversial Pokemon in the world because it can turn into any other Pokemon. So I'm putting it at S tier. I mean, it can turn into an Arcanine, into a Tauros, into a Slowpoke, into a Slowbro, into a Gengar, into a Charizard, and actually have its moveset. So I don't see anything wrong. Next up is Eevee. And Eevee's a really solid Pokemon, and I'm putting it at the top of A tier. Because, I mean, it can just evolve into any of its evolutions, and all of those evolutions are great. But the best one, in my opinion, is easily Jolteon. I mean, it's also just the best evolution in general, right next to Sylveon. But Vaporeon is very, I know some of y'all in the comments, I know what y'all are gonna do. And because of that, I'm not gonna put it in A tier. I'm not gonna put it in S tier. But, Flareon. It's just a B tier Pokemon. It's just not a good Pokemon in my opinion. However, I don't care what you say about Porygon. This is the most underrated Pokemon ever. And in my opinion, it's at the top. Where'd Mr. Porygon go? Okay. It's at the top of S tier. But next up is Ammonite, Slowpoke, Mewtwo, Tentacool, Aerodactyl, sorry. But B tier. And then Omastar is right below Ammonite. But Kabuto is just an S tier Pokemon. It's just a little guy. But Kabutops is a B tier Pokemon, mainly because of its fusion in the fusion games. It can be fused with almost anything and make it look cooler. But Aerodactyl, it's another ancient mon, and it's another B tier mon. But with another B tier mon comes another S tier mon, Snorlax. I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't like Snorlax, but whatever. Next up is Dratini. And Dratini, the entire Dragonite evolution line, in fact, is just S tier. I mean, it's the best of the best. I don't know how you wouldn't like. Now we have Uno, Dos, and Trace. And I'm putting Uno at C tier. Dos at S tier. And Trace at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Also known as B tier. But Mewtwo it's an A tier Pokemon. I don't know why you wouldn't like Mewtwo, but I also don't know why you would love Mewtwo. Next up is Mew, which I'm again putting it at S tier because it has the DNA of Ditto. Which means it can transform into any Pokemon, but it also has the DNA of any other Pokemon. So it can also transform from Ditto and from the DNA. In fact, you could argue it's in Psyduck tier because it's technically like 0.0001% Psyduck. But we're not getting into that. This is my official Pokemon tier, and I hope you really like this video because this was a long one. So, I hope you just sat down, ate some pancakes and eggs, and enjoyed this video as much as I would like you to. But without further ado, that's going to be the end of this video. Goodbye, and I'll try to upload more often. My schedule is a little bit off.